What's up, guys? So, this is awesome because I've got Mark Bennett all the way from Canada, who is a YouTube slash, I would say, comedian slash videographer. Like, so exciting to have you on this, I guess, project that I'm working on, which is basically about interviewing other video creators, how they create a YouTube channel. Because I've been trying hard. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, I've had a channel for
So
about
listen, you've come to the right place. You've come to the best, and your audience is going to really appreciate this. You know, they're going to
thank you
thank you
so much.
for this, right?
Sure thing.
I have no
If anyone's
idea what you said
watching,
in the intro.
oh, it's fine.
See,
It's
the
fine.
intro was just, it was all blotchy because of the restream. So I have no idea what you
Right.
said, but I'm sure it's all
It's on.
wonderful
It's
things. I
yeah.
heard
It's all.
videography and then my
Yeah.
name, so I started
Exactly.
talking at that point.
Everything I said was positive. So yeah, just yeah, hint of jealousy, but it's fine. I want to start off with the first question, which is all right. So let's take it from the start, which is how did you start getting into videography or filming, and hopefully you can elaborate on that.
Sure. Well, what happened is I'm a stand-up comedian. That's my day job. Well, I guess my night job. And with stand-up comedy, you know, you do a lot of things. I lived in Los Angeles for a few years doing comedy down there, and yeah, TV's part of it. You know, you audition for things, and then a lot of the comedians, we think, well, you know, maybe we could just do stuff ourselves. So I took a little film course down in Los Angeles. It was just a weekend-long course. It was Dov Simons, his name is. He's still going, and he actually Tarantino and Guy Ritchie and Chris Nolan took that same weekend film course. So I was like, well, those are pretty good names. So I took the weekend
Wow.
film course, and it basically taught you how to shoot a movie from A to Z, and said, look, this is how you shoot a movie. I can't give you a budget. I can't tell you what to do, but what I can tell you is, if you want to shoot a movie, here's how you can do it by yourself. So
Wow.
I did do that. So I shot an independent movie in Toronto. I used all of my comedian friends and my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife. They were all just in this thing, and it was completed. It was not good enough to show anybody. I submitted it to a few festivals, and they kindly told me, hey, you know what? You made a movie, but we're not going to show you in this festival. And
Wow.
I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed by it, because I just rented equipment and I hoped for the best. But like, the guy taught a pretty good course, so I was able to complete it. And people that I know, whom I trust, that I have let watch, they like it. So I'm probably never going to let the whole world see it. Who knows? Maybe one day. But that was the first start where I was like, I really love this stuff. And then
Right.
with stand-up, you know, you have to film your own sets a lot for festivals. And then comedians, they knew that I could tape things, so they asked me. Audio is a big part of it. We all have, like, I have a comedy album that is being played on satellite radio. That's how I make the majority of my money, in fact. So
Really?
I taped my albums, I taped the other comedians' albums. So audio video just became part of it. And then I realized I love it so much that, like, all I do is watch camera videos on YouTube. And then I wanted
Right.
to start making them. And that's, at the time, though, when I thought about this, I still lived in a 2-bedroom apartment with my wife and 2 kids. So there's no space. And finally, last summer, we moved into our little house. So I'm here. I'm sectioned off into a basement, into the corner of my basement. And I have enough room to set up my lights and my gear, so I could
Yeah.
really start doing some content. And this will, you know, it's one of the reasons I'm able to do it now. And I found it more difficult to do it back then. I still had a comedy channel. I was doing an instructional how-to or behind the scenes about stand-up comedy. And it's just that is a huge amount of work, because you have to ask the comedians for permission for their material. You have to go to the show with all your gear. You have to tape things. You have to put it all together later. And unfortunately, the audience is not that large. If you're not a famous comedian, there's not a lot of clicks on your video. So you're doing a week of work and only a few hundred people are going to watch it. Some of my videos took off. One of them, about 5 tips on stand-up comedy, has like 130,000 views or something like that. But most of them just kind of didn't do a lot. So really, I started, I wanted to do the camera, but I didn't want that to interfere with comedy. So I did a whole separate thing, and that's what you're looking at.
Yep. It's so interesting, Mark, because like I would have never realized how comedy can be so beneficial to your creativity. And like I've obviously, we watch a lot of camera guys, like the big guys like Gerald Undone and all these guys, but your personality really comes through, which I find amazing. Because sometimes I'll just see, obviously you have a beverage, and you're just talking, and I'm just like, I know what he's saying, I know what he's talking about, but at the same time, I'm like, like, there's a certain. It's okay.
You're cutting out a little bit.
I'm cutting out. Okay.
So could you repeat that last part? Yeah.
It's basically just the enthusiasm.
Last I heard you said, I was. Go ahead.
Sorry. So it's a stream from Dubai to. I'm guessing you're in Toronto. Are you in Toronto? Yeah, I think.
Yes, I am in Toronto. Okay. That part. Okay. I heard that part of the sentence.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess my internet's not great from my side, but it's fine. We'll deal with it. I'm hoping you're getting my questions, or I hope you're not getting a delay when I'm talking or saying anything. I think you are. It's okay.
You know what? I have. Why don't you? You can write on the restream. You can write me texts. Why don't you write the question that you were going to say, and then I will answer it as if you just said it.
There you go. That's a good idea. All right. So let me just go on to the next question, which is
hilarious. Now you're perfectly clear.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right. So I'll just go on to the next question, which is I was basically trying to make a leeway to the next question, which is, how does comedy help you make videos? And as I was trying to say earlier, like I really find your enthusiasm and your character to really make those videos. Like, you're just doing stuff like showing the low light capabilities of, let's say, 2 or 3 cameras, but it's that personality and that humor that I find so much different from the other guys that I watch, and it makes me want to watch, because I'm like, yeah, I kind of already know the specs, because everyone, obviously, if you're a gear, gas gear accumulating syndrome, you kind of know what the A7 IV or whatever something. But then when you actually, I like when you put the comparisons where you've got the A7C with the iPhone 13, and then you've got the ZVE10, which are really making me want to buy, but I'm not. I'm trying not to. So I love that, and the humor you put into it, even though it's just about cameras. So maybe you want to elaborate a little bit about that, about how comedy helps you create videos.
Yeah, absolutely. See, the thing is, I mean, I think you should use whatever skill set you have. And like Peter McKinnon, is famously did a bunch of magic tricks, and so yeah, because it's one of the skills he has that you can show on camera. Yeah. So why not? He's a charismatic guy as well, obviously, and that's the thing. What I felt like I could provide was I wanted to talk about cameras like everybody else, but you know, my whole life is about trying to be funny. Yes, there's a hole in my soul somewhere where I need to fill it with other people laughing at me. So when I'm talking about cameras, I just say whatever's coming to my head. And since that's just my type of personality, then it does seem to help because, you know, if I'm watching a lot of camera reviews, if they're extremely dry or the presenter is having a tough time presenting and it's a really slow pace, you might watch that one video about the thing you're very interested in, but you may not subscribe and continue to watch. Like I know if I'm going to review cameras and gear, different microphones, whatever, gimbals, that most people aren't going to buy every single thing that I'm talking about, nor will they want to watch a video about everything I'm talking about unless they want to watch me. You know, like Camera Conspiracies is the most famous of the funny gear people, as far as I can see. And I still watch all of his videos. Almost never is it a product that I'm interested in, but I just like hearing Casey walk around the streets, telling jokes. And I think that if you can get the audience to, I mean, this has been said about comedy since the beginning of comedy. It's just, you know, 90% of the battle is making them like you. So if people like you, they want to laugh. Did you go? Oh, you're still there. They want to laugh. They like you. They will continue to watch what you're doing. And the camera stuff to me feels the same. Like I'm fortunate so far. I mean, I don't have a huge channel, but it's growing pretty well. And I get a lot of repeat viewers. People are interested in the comedy aspect of it. In fact, when Sony reached out to say, you know, they liked the channel and if I'd be interested in being put on their review list, you know, the people who get things from Sony to review, just they don't give you anything. They just let you borrow it for 2 weeks and then they ask for it back. So and Sony said the reason that they like the channel is that it doesn't take itself too seriously, that I'm putting out information that is accurate and can be helpful, but at the same time it's something that he thinks the rep from Sony that there's not a lot of on YouTube, which is a bit of personality and a bit of a draw and humor in general. Like everybody, I think one of the mistakes that a lot of people, they want to look serious. They don't want to look like amateurs. So everybody comes across as a bit of a newscaster, you know, like it's a lot of people even put on a newscaster voice with the today in Sony News we have, and it's just like, you know, I know you're just a guy.
Photos. You know? Yeah.
And see now, Fro, to his credit, I mean, his news, like his photo news fix, is nothing but humor. Like he tells the stuff, and it's his most popular segment. And the reason being is because he and his editor, they put in the funny clips of Dirty Work and all the other movies, and he says funny things. And it is definitely my favorite part of Jared's website. But so a lot of people are copying that, but they aren't putting in the personality or the humor. And Gerald Undone, I myself was tempted when Gerald started, because I caught on to Gerald very early when he was, I don't think he had like 30,000 subscribers, something like that. And I said, this guy is fantastic. And he makes you want to do it like him. You wish you were as good at physics and the innards workings of color gamuts as Gerald. So, but the thing is, he's Gerald. Like that's not most people's strength. Now, I want to do really good reviews that are very accurate and can help people, but I can't do it the way Gerald does it, and nor should I. You know, it's I should just do what you can do. And I seem to know enough. I understand enough about cameras and editing that I can impart what I know, and I can try to do it in an entertaining manner. And it doesn't hurt, that I look so damn handsome.
So dashing. Yeah, that's pretty much it's I think it's the hair. It's your hair that really gets people. It's
Yeah.
it's the locks. But
Yes,
that's an
people
awesome.
call me people are calling me Shaggy. Shaggy from Scooby Doo is what they're calling me,
Oh
which is
yeah, no,
not is not a compliment, but they do it all the time. I didn't have long hair
Oh,
before the lockdowns. I had short hair my whole
okay.
life, and so this is weird. It's kind of weird that people identify me with long hair when it's only been about 2 years.
Well, at least something good happened from COVID. So I'm gonna move on to the next topic, which is how do you get so many videos out, or should I say, consistently?
Hmm.
Which I noticed from your page. I'm not gonna show your page again, unfortunately, because it's basically the bandwidth is going lower as I show more graphics. So I'm just
Oh
gonna
yeah, well then that
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so how do you stay consistent with your channel? That's to me the hardest thing, by the way, because I've tried to, have my kids' channel.
yeah.
It's so tough, and yeah, it's really tough.
I think well, I mean, there's a bunch of elements to it. One, I had been watching a lot of camera stuff for a lot of years, so I was ready to get into it. I knew enough where I could at least start, and then from there, and things change so quickly, and you learn so much about because different camera systems, editing softwares are updated all the
Yeah,
time. You can't completely know what you're going to do before you do it, but I had a pretty good foundation. So when I was ready to do videos, I could do like I didn't just do one video and think, oh no, what else do I do? I find that I had a nice few videos to start with. And then the my goal was to do more videos. I decided that if I was to spend 1 or 2 weeks trying to do a video, um, channel and YouTube being so saturated with tech reviews that you would have less of a chance of growing. The more videos, in my opinion, the more videos you put out, as long as they're of a certain standard of quality, the better chance you have of people seeing those videos, subscribing, and your channel growing. So what I liked to do, especially at first, was tackle things that I knew I could do in an evening. So I
mm,
started with, if you go back to the beginning of my channel, I started with I have an A7 III. Should I sell this camera to get something else? Or my GH5, should I sell that to get something else? And it was me talking about what I did. I knew those cameras pretty well. So I was able to, excuse me, I was able to record that in about an hour or two and then edit it in about an hour or two. And so I tried to do as many videos like that as I could. Ones where I knew you know what you're talking about in this area. It'll be a fast video. You'll be able to shoot it and edit it. And like I said, I have a couple of kids. They're 5 and under, and I have a wife, and I really only get to do videos in the evenings. So what I try
right.
to do is from about 8 p.m. when they go to bed to about midnight. In that 4 hour time, I try to get a whole video out from start to finish. It doesn't always happen.
Well,
Sometimes it takes me 2 days, but that's one of the reasons that I don't do a ton of general reviews. Like I don't say, let's do a whole review of the GH5 because that's a big video. That will take a long time. Now I have done some
mm,
of those, but they do take a week. But to
yeah.
say, here is a feature of the GH5 that you might like, or here is the Sony ZV-E10, and then I can do one of those videos quickly, and it can also be helpful for people. Like I did a video a little while ago about there is a barrel distortion, and on third-party lenses and some Sony lenses, when you're connected to a Sony camera, they don't automatically correct the barrel distortion on a
Right.
wide-angle lens. When I attached my wide-angle lens and I saw a fisheye effect, I went into the settings and found that setting and turned it off. And then I thought, I don't think a lot of people know about this setting. So I did a
Yeah,
video about it. It was like a 5 minute video. It only took me about 3 hours to do. And a couple thousand people have watched it, and they've said, a lot of them have said, I've been shooting for years on Sony. I had no idea that this was there. So here is a helpful video
nice.
that was quick. And I would say if you're starting your channel, you focus on things like what you're doing right now with this, something where you can do the video pretty quickly and get it up there so that you can hit the ground running. And now that you learn, you start to develop a workflow. Like I have my cameras set up where they're going to be set up. I have my lights set up. I know what strength to put my lights on. I know
Yeah.
what LUT I'm going to apply to my footage. I know how to edit my audio. I know what backing tracks I'm going to use. So it gets faster and faster as you go.
All right. So unfortunately, Mark got cut. But yeah, he basically said what what needed to be said, which is you need to be able to go get into a place where you have the things ready. So just like what I've done and what Mark has done, it's basically uh, getting getting the lights, getting the audio, and that's about it. So Mark, you're back.
Yes. So where did we lose?
He keeps logging on and off because unfortunately based in Toronto. I'm based in Dubai. Uh, Someone's connection is cutting up. But yeah, just that's just unfortunate. Mark has a really great channel. He's got 4,000 subscribers, um, and his content is really consistent. Like if you check his, let me pull up his page quickly before I get him back on the on the live stream. Uh, so let me share you his page. So as you can see, I've got my let's see his videos. And what really got to me was this one video where he talked about the A7C. We were talking about that earlier, but I really like how he explains stuff. We were talking about consistency. He's super consistent. 3 hours ago, 2 days ago, 4 days ago, 6 days ago. That is tough. Um, and yeah, so I'm hoping he doesn't cut up now. I can see his bandwidth is a little bit low, but I'm gonna give it a shot, and let's see if he's available. All right, Mark. Hopefully this will work. Does it? It seems like you got good bandwidth, but yeah, it's pretty slow. Uh, yeah, it's just unfortunate that the bandwidth is not it's not coming through. But yeah, let me try to get him up again when he's got his when he's looking at his camera. It's all good. So yeah, just about consistency, great thumbnails, and as he said, he started off with the equipment he had to basically talk about, and yeah, just kept going at it. And yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of uh, sacrifices in terms of family time and so on and so forth to 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 get such how would you say uh, such videos up. Sorry, I'm a little bit staggery right now, but it's all good. There's actually no one watching this live stream. So my other suggestion, if you want to post consistently, is what I do now is, and at work as well, because I work for a media publisher here in Dubai, is I basically do live streams now, whether it be at work or here. And what I'm doing is, after I finish a live stream, I'm making cuts of the live stream, which I can do on YouTube, I can do on Facebook, I can do on Twitter. And what I'm doing is I'm basically changing the titles or the thumbnail of those clips of the interview that I'm doing. And that way, instead of just posting, one clip, and you can do that. There's nothing wrong with, what my previous guest Brad or what Mark is doing, or many of the guys, because that takes a lot of time and effort. I know Brad told me in the last interview he took about 22 weeks to make a really good video about his GoPro, not GoPro 10. This is just another way to get content out. So I'm not saying it's the best way to do it, but I'm just saying what's happening with YouTube and a lot of these social platforms is they are trying to have their own inbuilt editor, and then if you cut your content from within their platform, they are going to yeah, they're basically going to try to push that onto more feeds. So that's pretty much it. I mean, if you want to try other ways of getting out content more easily, I would say then you really have to be a good storyteller. You have to be really good at editing, which is very tough. I myself is I'm literally learning. There's a lot of what do you call YouTubers who do that, who are really good at video editing. I'll give you an example. There's a guy named Film Booth. So do check this out. This guy is really good. I've been learning a lot from him in terms of analytics. And yeah, I mean, look, you can always watch Maddie, but Maddie's like 1 million subs or whatever. Nick Nimon's also really good if you want to get into analytics and trying to figure out what is suitable for your channel, because I can go into my analytics and obviously I can see, for example, I'll just show you real quick. And I'm what, 160 subscribers, 138, not even. And my analytics are obviously pretty bad. I'm trying to figure out how to get it up, but of course, it takes time and effort. Uh, so it's just about learning what your audience wants, and just figuring out. Actually, maybe that now that I can see Mark getting ready, maybe he can talk about his analytics and how he saw his numbers jump. Obviously, mine are really bad. I've got only like 138 subs, but let's hear it from Mark. Can you hear me, Mark?
Yes. Yes. Do you know?
You good?
So yeah, I switched. I went. Now it doesn't look as nice, but I went next to my router. Can you hear me? Because I'm just using the camera, the
Yeah, yeah,
mic's
yeah, yeah,
mic.
yeah. It's fine. It's good.
Yeah,
It's good. You sound good.
it's better. Yeah, this is better.
Yeah.
Do you know I have the most expensive internet in Canada? I have the highest bandwidth, the fastest speeds, and if you leave the modem for like 5 feet, it's useless. When this is
Wow.
over, I'm going to spend the next half an hour screaming at my telecom company because I assumed, because I'm paying so much for internet, it was you.
Yeah.
I thought it was your bandwidth, but it's mine.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, I
And
is
you learn.
you're clear now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You learn something every
So
day.
all right. So where did we leave off? Or how are you going to do? What are you going to show
I
from now
mean,
on? You're just going to let this live
um,
stream run?
I mean, I was literally talking about consistency, and we
Yeah.
got caught. So maybe you just want to end it with something to small YouTubers like me who, obviously I see someone like you, and you've got 4,000, and I'm just like, wow, how did you do that? Maybe, as you said, like you do the edits at night, but maybe there's something that you realized in your workflow that maybe could help other people, including me, as to, maybe you can try this and this could work for you. Um, yeah, that's
Yeah,
just.
well, it probably got cut off last time when I was saying
Mm,
it, but so I'll just reiterate, and if you've heard it before, I apologize. But basically, what I did was I decided to tackle small videos, as many small videos as
right.
I could. So I thought to myself, since I only have an evening, what can I do in 3 or 4 hours? So I picked topics that I knew very well and things or easy ones like let's compare one of my two favorite cameras because I know them really well. Which one is better for me or for certain circumstances? Oh, there's a new camera on the market. Let's talk about that compared to the ones I already own. I knew I could record that in about an hour and then edit it in about an hour or two. And the benefits of that are twofold in that you get more videos out. So there's more chance for any of those videos to do quite well, or just in general, more people seeing your channel, subscribing to your channel. And I got a frog in my throat. And the other benefit is that because you're doing these videos, your workflow develops. You get it's very frustrating at first when you start making these videos because you think, oh my God, every video is going to take me so long. But
Yeah.
the stuff you do now, I can set things up with my eyes closed. I apply my LUTs. I do my background music. My lights. I know what temperature and what settings my lights are going to be. I know where my camera is going to sit, and like all this stuff that you have to figure out at first, it becomes second nature. And now your videos are faster and faster and faster. So a quick video is no problem. So now I can tackle more intensive videos. Like here is a larger review of a camera, or here is something that would have taken me in the beginning a month to do. Now it'll take me five,
Wow.
6 days, stuff like that.
Mm,
So the more you do, not only do you have more views, but you get better, you get faster, and like all the that was stuff I wasn't really thinking about at the time. Like it was a coincidence, but because a lot of people say, "Oh, you'll get better at videos,"
yeah.
but they don't specify. What I think they mean is that you will get faster. You know how your computer works. You know how your cameras
Yeah.
work. You know how to edit faster. You develop all these workflows and techniques, where you store your footage, when you offload your footage, how you do it, and all this stuff is daunting at first. But a couple of months in, it's just like quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Your workflow definitely. I am super jealous how you get videos out consistently, but I mean, props to you. I'm gonna go to the next question so we
Yep.
can get into it, which is, why did you decide to even start a YouTube channel? Uh, and why camera
Yep.
crisis?
Yeah. So the first one is because when I was doing stand up, and since I knew how to use cameras and audio, I thought it's a good thing to. I really love comedy, and I love stand up, and comedians. Canada is known for its comedy. However, not a lot of people know comedians in Canada. It's when comedians move
Hmm.
to Los Angeles or New York when people start knowing who they are. So I thought to myself, well, why don't I try to make YouTube videos, high quality YouTube videos about stand up comedy here in Canada, and that it'll be a creative outlet for me and it'll help get exposure for Canadian comedians. So that was the first idea. And the thing is, as I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you were able to hear it, but it took a long time to make those videos. It takes a lot of work because
Yeah.
you got to get the other comedians involved and do all the work that it requires. And the views aren't that great because since the people you're talking about aren't famous comedians, nobody's Googling those keywords like, hey, can I see Canadian stand-up comedians I've never
Yeah.
heard of? So it's much harder. The audience is much smaller. And so I'm still doing those videos. It's a passion project. It has, and
Mm,
if some of those take off one day, great. But it's not something, as you were talking about consistency, it's not something you can do consistently. It's just too much work, and the logistics involved make it too difficult to put out videos all the time. So the camera channel was because I ended up, when I was making the videos about comedy, what I realized I loved very much using the gear. I can talk about cameras for an endless amount of time. My YouTube, if you go through my YouTube feed, it's only camera related stuff. I watch tech YouTubers and camera related YouTubers. At first, it was just to learn how to use my cameras so that I could film the comedy documentaries and things like that. But
mm,
now it's totally changed in that I love it as a hobby unto itself. I also love photography. So all of these things, I not only like doing the things, I like using the cameras themselves. They're fun toys for me. I love tinkering around with them. And what really makes me get out of bed in the morning to do it is that I like getting the best out of them. Like the ZV-E10, and the reason that the channel is doing well because of the ZV-E10. It's a new camera that is accessible to people because it's one of the lowest priced cameras you can buy that has that level of quality. So it excited me, the idea of going, people might not even realize how good the footage could be coming from this camera. And so you start
mm.
to show them, and then they get excited. And that's another thing I forgot to say about how you can be consistent, is that once your channel starts growing, like ideas for videos, it's super easy because everyone's constantly asking you questions. So you're always able to feed off your comment section to do the
Mm.
next video. Like I have written a list of videos I need to do. It's like 30 videos at this point. I'm not going to get to all of these
Wow.
before I move on to something else, because it's just every time someone asks a question, I'm like, well, that would make a good video. I should just do that.
Right, right. That's really interesting and insightful. I would want to ask more questions, but I don't want to get this interview to go on for days. So let me.
Everybody's sick of me by now.
So I'm gonna ask the next question, which is, what are your future plans for the channel? Do you see this becoming a brand, or is it mainly educational?
Eh, I think it's going to be mainly educational. I don't see myself becoming, to do what, say, Casey Neistat or Peter McKinnon. Like I don't really have the goal of becoming a super popular YouTuber. It's kind of in between. It's not worth it if nobody's watching your videos. It doesn't feel good, and you're spending tons and tons of time and money doing these types of videos. So if you're not getting any kind of reward from it, it's difficult to just say, hey, just do it for the love. But yeah, but you know, I I bought an expensive camera, set up expensive lights. I'm trying to do a good product, and if nobody likes it, and it doesn't make you any money, then it's difficult to continue. So my goal was, because I'm getting older. I mean, I know I look like I'm 25 years old,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, but I'm 43. I've got young kids. Stand up is a bit of a young man's game. I can see how I will want to do less hustling as life goes
Mm,
by, and so I love the hobby of videography and photography. So if I can do my hobby in a way that makes people happy and makes and lets them use their equipment really well, and at the same time gives me a creative outlet where I know a lot of people are consuming and enjoying the content, and then of course a financial reward, because
mm,
if this turns in it, I spend a lot of time doing this, and you have a
yeah.
family, so you can't just not work. Like, I mean, I still make most of my money through stand up, but as I say, that
Mm,
as I get older, I'm going to do less and less of that. So I still will need an income stream. So I will definitely, I do pay attention to trying to get enough brand recognition, I suppose you could say, to make a good living from it. But the idea, rich, famous, I mean, I've been down this road with comedy. None of that matters. All of that is empty, terrible nonsense. And I lived in Los Angeles long enough to know that nothing feels good about fame and fortune. I have lots of famous friends. I have lots of rich friends. I had some 5 minutes of fame myself here and there, and none of it matters. You feel exactly the same, if not worse. So you got to do things that you enjoy doing because we'll all be dead soon. So not to
Yeah,
put a
yeah.
positive spin on it, but
Great way to end it.
yeah. Well, listen, we'll all be
We're
dead
all gonna
soon.
die, guys.
Thanks for
Bye.
watching.
Done. I was actually listening to Conan's podcast.
Yeah, one of my
Conan.
one of my good friends is one of his head writers, Levi McDougall. He was a
Oh
Toronto
wow.
comedian. Yeah, moved down to Los Angeles. Now he's one of Conan's right. When Conan does those behind the scenes with his staff, the guy sitting to his
Mm,
right is that's Levi. He's a hilarious guy.
wow. Yeah, I was literally taking the metro to work, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna interview a comedian today. Like, I don't actually listen to any podcasts about comedy, so it's so crazy how Conan, even not like visually, he's already a cartoon, but
Hmm.
when you hear him and his sarcasm is off the roof, especially with his secretary or assistant. I forgot
Yeah,
her name.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is such a good combo. That and I guess that's one. I don't know what's it's a gem. He's like a it's like a hidden gem. You can't like. There's so many other comedians like Trevor and I don't know who else I'm thinking of. I was even watching a show on Amazon Prime called Last One Laughing. A lot of great Australian comedians,
Mm,
uh, and then there's the Japanese version of that where it goes beyond what I think comedy is,
hmm.
because the Japanese version is literally like them going butt naked and doing all sorts of yeah,
That's
not
yeah.
so.
That what sucks about that is that was my idea for my next YouTube channel. So that really sucks.
You're gonna get some copyright claims like,
Yeah.
hey,
I was going to combine OnlyFans and YouTube. It
oh,
was going to be
that,
great. Going to call it OnlyTube.
oh snap! Imagine.
Mm.
But thank you so much for your time. I apologize for the bandwidth
Oh,
issue.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that was me. So I apologize.
it's all good. So thank you for watching, guys. And if you're not watching, it's fine. I'll put some VOD clips up and stay on, Mark. I'm just gonna end the stream now and see you in a bit. Cheers. Take care, guys.